go. We are getting up and moving here in the Passport Trailsport. And of course, this Nissan's gonna pull in front. Hey everyone, it's Hardy here, and in today's gonna be reviewing the all-new Honda Passport Trailsport. Before getting this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for giving me some time with this Passport. I'm gonna include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for John. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 280 horsepower and then 262 pound-feet of torque. Now before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe. And also I need to mention on a side note, I just dropped my camera and totally broke it, so some of the shots in this video might not necessarily be the best. So starting with the hood here on the Passport Trailsport, you guys can see really cool silver metallic paint, and notice how it kind of falls off on either side. And then you guys can see here with the front end, notice you got the Trailsport there in the grille, you've got the LED daytime running lights, turn signals there at the very bottom, which is interesting, and then just down below that you got the fog light, and then the grille's kind of darker in coloration than the rest of the trim because it's supposed to be a sportier package. And then putting it all together, I think this is a pretty cool looking SUV. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 245/60/18 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the wheel design itself, it's pretty cool there with the silver, and then you got the gray in the center. And then you guys will also notice you got these kind of more aggressive all-terrain tires. And then right here you guys can see here with the fender flare, I think that also looks cool. And then notice how the mirror is also blacked out. And then taking a look at the full side profile here of the Passport, I think it's a pretty cool sporty looking crossover. Now here's a key fob for the Passport. You guys can see you've got the unlock function, the lock function, remote start, and then the opening for the hatch. Now in this back hatch area, you guys can see we've got the custom Trailsport floor mats, and then we do have this cool little outlet right here, and then you can see you've got these controls to actually lower down these seats. And then right here, more storage space just underneath. And overall, I mean, it's pretty dang spacious. And then you got this function right there, just press it and it'll lower the hatch right back down. We've got these cool Trailsport taillights here, and then notice the black trim that kind of connects everything, and then you do have that Honda logo there in the center, and then we've got our Trailsport all-wheel drive badge, Passport badge there on the other side, and then look how aggressive these exhaust tips are, and then you got the parking sensors as well. And then finishing things off, I really do think that this is a good-looking crossover on the outside. Now coming over the door panel here, you guys can see you've got this sunshade right here, and then, oh, I actually didn't put it back in. There we go. We've got padding down below, some cup holders here, and then more storage, and there's the door panel. And then we've got these cool leather seats here. Notice the contrasted stitching is perforated all down the center portion of the seat. And there you go. Legroom here in the back of the Trailsport's actually pretty solid. We've got this little storage pocket right here. We've got some vents in the center. And then you guys can see with all of the outlets. Well, hopefully you can see with the outlets down below. Not sure what the camera's doing right now. And then we, of course, have the cup holder armrest. And then Headroom'S also pretty good back here. Now with the front door panel here, you guys can see all of the padding with the stitching. We've got all of our window controls here. Front two are automatic. And then you guys can see here with the memory seat function. Then that's the release for the hatch, and then your gas cap release. And the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. We've got the Trailsports logo there on the seat headrest, and then you can see perforated all down the center again with that cool contrast stitching. And then the seat is also power adjustable. Now I've got a bunch of controls in this section right here. You guys can see for like the mirror adjustment, the mirrors do power fold, and you got your econ mode. You've got that for the stability control, and then your collision assistance, lane departure, and then the parking sensors. And then here with the steering wheel, you guys can see really nice leather trim all around. Notice it's perforated here on these sides and get a slightly better grip. And then we do have adaptive cruise control with this, as well as steering assistance. Paddle shifters here in the back for that 10-speed automatic. Some controls for the center stack, phone controls, all that kind of stuff. And then you guys can see turn signal light stock. And then we've got a windshield wiper stock. So here is the gauge cluster, and I'm hoping that it's even focusing on it. But you guys can see mostly digital. Do you have the analog effects on either side? But anyways, got the drive modes, got a normal, snow, mud, and then a sand mode that you can go into. Now here's the infotainment system. First off, if we put it into reverse, you guys can see we've got a backup camera with your directory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and you can also change the viewpoint right there, so that's pretty neat. And then going over the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can see you've got this like little shortcut bar here on the side. And then as for the rest of the screen, response time's actually pretty solid with the screen itself. It does come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then down below, you guys can see here with the climate controls, we do have a dual zone climate system here for the front, and then you got that rear climate system as well. And then down below that, you guys can see you got a little storage space, and then you got heated seats here for the front. And then we've got our like charging area here with some USBs and then a wireless phone charging pad. So you guys can see you've got some cup holders right here, and then we've got our whole transmission select area as well. That's your drive mode select, and then your auto stop start. And then that leads us to the center console, which is also pretty neat, actually. Decent storage space with that. And then over to the glove box, which, yeah, solid glove box. And look at the trim there on the dash. It's also kind of like padded. Up top, we got a sunglass holder, and then we do have a sunroof as well, which is covered in snow. Now there's a ton of glare, so you guys probably can't see the window sticker, but anyways, total MSRP on this, $44,265. And hopefully the vehicle's in frame. Let's take it out and drive it. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off here on the Passport. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both of the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring, it looks like. And through the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Setting off in the Passport Trailsport. And at least I know this portion of the video is going to be good from a camera view perspective because, well, the GoPro is still working fine. But, yeah. Oh, it's a super interesting experience for me to try to film a video without being able to see what I'm filming. And the one thing that does make me cringe is the camera, when it dropped, it like basically hit up in the light filter, so like the entire video is probably gonna look like slightly too bright. Yeah, this is a fun day. But anyways, let's talk about how this thing drives. So the ride quality is really good, actually. I just drove a Ridgeline before this, and this is actually bumpier than the Ridgeline. The Ridgeline's more comfortable, so it's kind of an interesting thing. I'm gonna put my tripod down so it doesn't fall later. But yeah, steering's good as well. Tires actually add an extra layer of absorption. They got a decent amount of sidewall, which, you know, always helps out with making things feel a little bit more comfy. And I really like the steering wheel. I think that's a big high point here with this Passport Trailsport package. Really nice material use there. Just feels good in your hands. And then aside from that, let's kind of get up and move and see how this goes. It's partial throttle here. Yeah, pretty good. Pop it into the S mode. It's kind of like your sport mode with this. I don't think there was an actual sport. Yeah, there was just off-road mode. So I was like, I don't think there was. I don't remember seeing an actual sport mode. I just remember seeing the S mode button there. Mustang in the winter, bold move. Okay, so we are getting up and moving here in the Passport Trailsport, and of course this Nissan's going to pull out in front. Let them do their thing, and then we'll. Of course it's a Sentra. Those Sentra drivers, man. But yeah, I mean, it gets up and moves at a pretty decent pace. Actually, that's pretty impressive. I will say that. Obviously not full throttle, but pretty good. Pop it back into drive. And yeah, instantly kind of like downshifts and everything gets a little bit less aggressive. So it's cool with that distinction. So summing things up here with this. And let's see how the turn-in is again. Yeah, that's great. I remember this thing drives really well. So summing things up, I think this thing looks cool on the outside. Interior is really nice, actually, and it drives really well. Not quite as comfortable as the Ridgeline, which I know is a weird comparison because that's a truck and this is, well, an SUV, but very, very similar vehicles. So yeah, I think it's a comparison that's worth making. Overall, I like this a lot, and I think it's reasonably priced for what it is. I mean, it's cool that you can get a cool sporty off-road package from Honda, and it's, you know, under $50,000. I know that some people might cringe at me saying that, but like, I mean, look at like anything TRD Pro from Toyota, right, is, you know, all like over $50,000. And so, you know, this is, you know, more, obviously it's you know, kind of a different segment than a TRD Pro, but still. You guys get what I mean. Let me know what you think about the Passport Trailsport. I think this thing is pretty cool. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Passport Trailsport, and let me know how I did filming a video where I didn't exactly know what I was filming because I broke my camera. Don't worry, I already have a new camera, so we're good to go. I just don't have it with me, but you guys get the point. Anyways, huge shout out and thank you to the Stockton 12 Honda here for giving me some time with this Passport. Check out the info in the description down below. I'll see ya.